Okay, some people have been here for the first platform. The premise is that every performance takes place on the, on the first one was just this platform. This time we've said everybody can make their own platform if they want to. And the performances are going to be timed to 10 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer now.
Nice garlic timer there.
Yep. Garlic of performance. Okay. My performance is going to be another experiment in context of presentations. I've done a few so far. And I was trying to sync my mobile device to my main platform, but that failed. So what I'm going to do today is actually work cross-platform. And also working cross-platform between technology and performance. So I'm going to use this computing text and interpret it as a performing script, and I will try to sync some key data in this. So, okay. Data management part 3, syncing online data to a data management platform. To get the full value out of relationship with the data management platform, you want to provide the platform with as much data as possible. That said, the low-hanging fruit in any organization would be to integrate third-party data for which you already have a cookie to the DMP. The mechanism to accomplish this is your standard cookie sync, which passes the user ID from one system to another via a query string appended to a pixel call. And ideally, a server-to-server integration after that. Practically speaking, this means that when a user hits your site and calls your site analytics tag, either independently or through a container tag, that site analytics tag redirects the user to the DMP and simultaneously passes the site analytics user ID to the DMP. When the DMP receives that call, it cookies the same user and also records what the site analytics ID is. Now the DMP knows how to associate data from the site analytics tool to its own cookie ID. The beauty of this system is only the user ID needs to be synced at this time, and the actual data that the site analytics tool records can be passed to the DMP later, without slowing down the user experience on site. Now imagine replicating this process with all third-party tools, syncing all systems into the DMP. In the example below, the client is integrating the analytics system, order management system, and email system to a DMP for the sake of selling some of their data onto a data exchange and remarketing on the exchange through a DSP. For the sake of clarity, this particular setup shows how the process works when the DMP client is using a container tag solution to control which tags serve on the page. Using a container tag solution to control, using a container tag or other tag management solution is considered best practice to ease implementation of new tags, control tag frequency, and among other reasons. When the user, smiley face, lands on their site, they request the page HTML from the content server 1, which responds to the user with the page content as well as the DMP's container tag 2. While the rest of the page is loading, the container tag first is the browser to call the DMP 3, which responds back with a batch of redirects as well as its own cookie for the user to each of the integration points. Those are basically pixel requests, so the system can drop a cookie on that user. The user makes those parallel requests, 5, and receives the cookie, along with a callback to the DMP 6. That callback has each system's unique ID on that user and the URL, ideally encrypted, which the DMP receives and stores. Now the DMP has its own cookie ID from step 4, synced with each third-party system. Now, the DMP can pull data from each system, 8, and populate that data against its own cookies. The client can do any audience profiling in the DMP, create the right cookie pool, and put that cookie pool to other systems on demand.
Oh.
Want to pass it around?
I usually have my cookies turned off.
Using server-to-server API connections. Server-to-server integrations are important because they address the issue of data loss between systems. The alternative is a pixel-to-pixel sync to pass all relevant data direct from one system to the other, usually in some type of key value string appended to the redirect URL. This added data makes the call heavier and slows down the user experience, as well as the syncing process. It will also limit the amount of data that could ever pass between systems. Slower always means discrepancies, and discrepancies mean data loss. In fact, many people in the industry quote up to 30% of loss between systems in the pixel-to-pixel integration, which is just enormous. Imagine reducing the data scale by a third just to move it from one system to another. In short, if the DMP can't facilitate server-to-server integrations, they are probably aren't worthy of the label. And if anybody wants to collect key data, you will.